love how I started this week with no jobs and now I've been hired 3 separate times. This is not what I was expecting. Hello and welcome to a vlog of hunting for a job in New York. My name is Allie Mims. I am a 31-year-old playwright living in New York and I have to find a job by October 1st or I will have to leave the city. A few weeks ago, I filmed a vlog of a week of job hunting in New York. It was very busy. I had 3 interviews. I had a bunch of things happening, but I was also coming out of a cold. And so I'm like coming down from cold medicine throughout the week. And because of that, I never filmed an intro. I just sort of jump into it and I'm like in a daze. You will literally see me come back to life as the vlog goes on. But I wanted to come on here and do a tiny little intro before we jump right into it. I also wanted to update my job stats from my first video, my first ever YouTube video where I talk about my job hunt so far. I've been looking for a job for I think now 14 or 15 months now in New York since graduation. And this week some stuff finally paid off. Also, I'm at work right now, so I'm hanging with a good friend Steve. Sparkly Steve, actually. This is the skin of a killer. I'm pulling up my stats. In my last video on August 16th, my stats were 126 job applications, 16 interviews, and 3 job offers. And I was at the time working 1 part-time job and 1 freelance contract. At the filming of this video, I am at 147 job applications. I'm trying not to cry. 147 job applications, 22 interviews, and 6 job offers, and I did accept the 3 offers that you are going to hear about in this vlog. This has truly been a marathon and not a sprint, and the marathon is not over yet, but let's get into what was probably my most successful job hunting week so far. It is Tuesday, August 6th. I have been sick in bed for like 4 or 5 days at this point, but I have an interview today, my first interview of the week. I'm supposed to have 3 interviews this week. And we'll see if I make it to all of them. This one's online, so I'm definitely going to do it, but I do need to at least get ready so it doesn't look like I have been rotting in my room for 4 days, which I absolutely have been. This is for just like a contract, a short contract, a video editing position, just taking a longer video and editing it down to like, you know, a few social media posts. Let's get dressed, wash up a bit, and get ready for this interview. I just finished. That was not an interview. They want to hire me. I'm hired. And they accepted my rate right away, which makes me think it might have been a little low, but actually they wanted less than I thought. I think I misread the posting. Yeah, all right. I got one gig down. Once again, not enough for me to live in New York City, but it's something. I forgot to tell y'all the funniest part about these guys. I applied, I sent them my portfolio, a link to a bunch of videos that I had edited. And in response, they asked me to send them 3 limericks. There once was a woman from Texas who drove a big shiny Lexus. She loved to speed so fast she peed, it was more than a little reckless. There was a young man in France who had the dirtiest of pants. Each day he cleaned, scrubbed, and steamed, what? This is so stupid. Each day he cleaned, scrubbed, and steamed, but could never stop rolling in plants. I don't know. I think I was high on cold medicine. There was a small kid from the West End. They were popular with no lack of friends, but they pooped in the pool in front of the school and had to move round the bend. But I just thought that was so funny. I love when companies give you the opportunity and people give you the opportunity to like do your cover letter or your application in a creative way. If there's ever a video option, I will always do it. I'm always going to send the video. I will send a limerick every day of the week. It was super fun. It's Wednesday. I'm wearing the same outfit, but I swear I've slept and showered. And I just heard from an internship that I interviewed for and I got it. So I have a job. Once again, not a job that is going to pay me enough to be able to live in this city for more than a few months. It's very frustrating because it's temporary. It's only from September to December, but that is enough time for me to essentially continue the job search and look for something full-time and permanent. I do have 2 interviews scheduled for tomorrow still for Apple and TJ Maxx. I am going to still take those interviews. As of right now, cannot see any reason why I wouldn't accept this internship. I am going to take a day just to think about it just in case. I have done my hair, put in my contacts, and gotten dressed for the first time in a week. It truly is a red letter day. It is Thursday. I have 2 interviews for today. I have an interview with TJ Maxx and with Apple. and then I'm picking up a hard drive to get the video that I'm working on editing in the next few weeks. In my last video, I talked about going in person to a bunch of retailers, and I'll say that every single retailer that I've applied to so far that I went to in person, I have gotten an interview request. Apple asked for an interview almost right away, and TJ Maxx, I applied to 11 positions. I got an interview for one of them. I guess I'm sticking with that 1 out of 10, you know, ratio, so that's not too bad. Oh, no, the only place I haven't gotten an interview from is Sephora, but the guy did tell me that after I apply, I should call, and I didn't do that because I applied and I pretty much got sick immediately. Okay, just did my interview at TJ Maxx. I think it went well. I mean, it was an interview at TJ Maxx. You know, I was kind of nervous to tell her I had another job, but she was like, I get it. Everyone has 2 jobs. It's New York. She kind of asked me the questions I was expecting, which was just about my past experience, my availability, and then also like, you know, name a time you had to multitask. I could just tell from the way she asked it that she is sick of this question as well. And I'm like, sometimes the phone rings and I'm helping someone in person. She's like, great, you're a genius. So now I'm just walking to the train to go to my interview at Apple, but I am a little nervous because I think Apple's going to ask a bit more intense questions. Someone almost just got hit by a car. First of all, I need to stop lying to myself. I don't want iced tea. I want sweet tea, and that shit does not exist in the city except at Chick-fil-A. It's so gross. I just interviewed with Apple, and as I suspected, it was a little more in-depth than TJ Maxx. They asked me like 8 interview questions. It's also just a longer hiring process, which I don't think I'm down for, if I'm being honest. I think the interview went well, but I didn't really get a sense of what would happen. But also, when I got there, my name was not on her list, and so she had to sort of sit there for like 5 minutes inputting my data, and in that time I got a call from TJ Maxx and they offered me the position immediately. So I kind of told her, well, I'm interviewing right now for something else, and she was like, oh, do you want to take some time to think about it? And I was like, yes, please. So that's good. I got another job. I love how I started this week with no jobs, and now I've been hired 3 separate times. This is not what I was expecting. Where am I going? Okay, I still have 3 more blocks. I don't have any other interviews set up, but I think at this point I'm gonna accept the internship, I'm gonna accept TJ Maxx, get through this contract for the video editing thing, and that'll be enough to float me until September when the internship starts. Oh, look, I also applied here. I'm not good enough for J. Crew, I guess. It's been a pretty successful week, I would say. I'm feeling much better about the job hunt. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm in Brooklyn. I had a kind of a busy weekend. Went to a collage making workshop, and then I went to a reading at the Tank. Now I'm in Brooklyn for a reading of my friend's play. I didn't update on Friday night, but I've basically been playing phone tag with TJ Maxx for 2 or 3 days. Note to self and anyone else, there's a great setting on iPhones where you can block unknown numbers that call you. Super helpful for robocalls. Not at all helpful when you are trying to field calls from prospective employers. But I'll update y'all after I do this reading. It's 11:30 at night. I got home a while ago, but I forgot that I had some submissions to read. I'm a reader for theaters, like I said in my last video, but I also read for this fellowship at my job. But I got through about half of them, and I'm taking a break to close out this vlog. I did finally get a hold of TJ Maxx. So they called me while I was in my interview with Apple, right? They offered me the job, and I said, thank you, but I'm actually in an interview right now. So I left Apple, wasn't feeling 100% about that interview, but I was like, let me give it a day or 2 to think about. And I also wanted to talk to the internship to figure out what my hours were there. So I accepted the internship. That felt really good. I didn't really talk a lot about that internship. It is a great job. Actually, it's more like a borderline fine job just because the pay is really low and it's only part-time. But it's a pretty robust amount of hours. It's 24 hours a week. The pay is just really low and it's temporary. So that's the only thing keeping it from being like a great job. And if it was full-time, it would absolutely be, would it be a dream job? Am I lying? It would be pretty high up there. It's not exactly my first choice of company just because they have a much wider scope. So that's the only reason why I'm hesitating and calling it a dream job. But I accepted them, and then I called TJ Maxx. I actually talked to the manager, and I was able to accept the position. At the beginning of the week, I had one job and one contract, and now I have 2 jobs and 2 contracts and an internship. So I'd say this is a pretty successful week of job hunting. I am taking a small pause for applying to more jobs because I'm pretty much set until January, February if I'm budgeting correctly. And then I guess around February, well, before February, Allie, not around February, before February, this will all start up back again. And I'm hoping I'll be able to make some videos about theater, you know, that thing that I love and do constantly, and that's the only thing I really talk about in my real life, the only thing that I do on the weekends, the only thing that brings me joy. I have ideas. I haven't forgotten about the Jason Robert Brown last 5 years video. God, I want to do a video about the SUFS protest so bad. I promise you those videos are coming. I'm so excited. And I'm excited to start my new jobs, plural, in the coming weeks. So yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, and you know, I had to do it. I had to do it. I gotta get some $2 bodega snacks if I got $2 in my pocket. That's the law. It was a good week. It was a good week. It's a good week.